Hey everybody, it's Cindy over at paper.old.new. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me today. I am working on day 5. We do this at the beginning of every one, right? Day 5, day 105, day 205. Tina's Mass Makes. We are doing pockets. These are relatively simple pockets, but they're a good simple pocket to have in your stash. And of course you can make these with double-sided paper, just folding up the bottom, or you can just glue a piece of paper across the bottom. So these aren't like rocket science, but I thought it would be fun to make a few, and we'll just find some really nice papers that coordinate, go together, and make us some pockets. I have pulled some papers here, and we basically just have to cut backs and pockets, and I did do fold around, so you have the entire pocket in there. There's no glue seam, which is really nice for these. Guys, I came down here without my glasses, so this should be interesting, to say the very least. All right, so basically what I think I did was I made the back 3 3/4. 1, 2, 3 3/4. Let's see how many backs I can get out of this. Uh-oh. Nope, this is where it's going to come into play. I am probably going to have to go get my glasses. Okay, there's one. How much do I have left? 1, 2, 3 3/4 only leaves me. I'm trying to decide, because I kind of wanted to make one of these a pocket. So let's do this. I'm going to cut this one this way first for a pocket. We'll cut it 3 inches tall so that I have a 1/4 inch to wrap around the bottom. Okay, we'll do that a pocket. We have a back and a pocket in this pattern. And then I'm thinking 1, 2, 3 3/4, we can make a short pocket. We're going to try making different sizes. I think that'll be good, because you never know, right? When you might need one of these. And then we have a little strip there that we can use for something else. So this is a back. So I have a few backs here. Do that way. And I don't think that matters. And this I think I'm going to make the pocket pieces out of. So, and that is cut at an angle. I must have used it. I either cut it at an angle on purpose, or there's always the old-fashioned I can't cut straight, because we all know that's a thing. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Let's do it 3 1/4. Put that strip over there. And then we'll figure out how wide we need it based on I don't think this one's cut straight either. One, 2, 3. So how's everybody doing? I've been enjoying going through the mass make list. I have made the comment in the past that I have been really wanting to do this. This is how I end up with not straight cuts. I stand down here and don't wear glasses and try and cut things. I'm really going to have to go up and get my glasses. I can't believe I wandered down here without them. There's just times when I'm sitting in front of the TV and stuff, because if I'm in front of the TV, I don't need my glasses to watch TV. It doesn't get blurry or anything. So a lot of times I'll take them off, and then I'll wander off and leave them on whatever table I set them on while I was watching TV, which is exactly what I did. So yeah. Okay, and then depending on how wide we want our pockets, I'll cut out of that. Okay, now for these, I think I want to make backs. Let's cut one. Let's figure out how tall we want that. This is all cattywampus too. I'm going to spend a lot of time straight. I will say, I mentioned in my last video, I've been going into my scrap box and pulling paper to do this with. So if it seems like we're having to do a lot of straightening and that sort of thing, it's because, I mean, these scraps are coming out of my scrap box. I'm not. Okay, hang on, guys. I gotta go get my glasses. Okay, I can see. All right, and that should be straight. It's the... Apparently this paper wasn't cut straight either. Like, from the manufacturer, not cut straight. Or the perforation wasn't put in straight, one or the other. I mean... Because that's the full length of the paper. Which means I'm looking at the edges, and the perforation line isn't lining up with this line. So... I'm going to do some straightening while I cut this to size. Okay. Gives me a straight edge on that side, I hope. Of course, it doesn't help that when I cut, it moves some. So that's never ideal. Let's actually cut 3 3/4. We'll cut a wide. I mean, we'll cut a tall back, and then I'll just cut it down to size. Obviously, we're not going to keep it that size, but moving on. Let's see if this one's straight. This one looks straight. And it's torn on that side, so we'll cut 2, 3. I kind of like the 3 3/4 size. It fits on a 5.5 inch page, a 5.5 to 6 inch page without filling it up. But also without being too small. Like, it's not, what do you want to call it? It doesn't, give me a second. It's not like at the exact half mark, I guess is what I'm looking for. So it doesn't like divide your page in half if you put the pocket off to one side. I don't like that kind of perfect symmetry kind of a thing. I'm more into the asymmetry. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so there's some backs. Now, I don't know. I want to make pockets out of this. I don't know what I have this down here for, unless it was just in case. And then I thought, let me see how wide this is. And if it's... I'm thinking we can get a back and a front. Well, I can definitely get a back and a front. I can get a back and a front, and we can make one of each. And then if I want to use these with any other papers, like this would go good with this. The beige that I just took off. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3 3/4. You know what? We're going to do this way first. Because when I make my pockets, I tend to make them like, because my backs are 3 3/4, I make my pockets 4.5. So I have a 1/4 inch to fold around on either side. So I have to make sure that I don't cut off 2, 6, 7. We'll make it 7.5 inches tall, and then I have plenty of room down here for a pocket. Right? Okay, and then I'll take, and I'll cut this to its 3. 1, 2, 3. This is more manageable. 1, 2, 3 3/4. So I don't know if you noticed in this video, you will see that it seems a little brighter here, and my camera got readjusted again. Yeah, we made some adjustments, and when we were making the adjustments, we bumped the camera. So I was forced to fix the camera. So that's how that happened. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the moths. Many of you may recognize this is from the Mariposa pad. 2, 3, 4. I still have some of it hanging around. 5, 6, 7.5. We're going to do the same thing here. I feel like 7.5 is a good height because it's not too tall for the page. It still gives you a little bit of a gap at the top of a 9-inch page. And if you want it shorter, you can always cut some off. So it's, you know, kind of your, it's kind of my go-to when I am undecided on how tall I want the pocket. I know I will at least want it that tall. That is not straight. Okay, let's try this edge. This is semi-directional, but this side over here is less straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3 3/4. That's what we want. So anyway, before I ran off to get my glasses, it's another back. Okay. And then we have these that I wanted to make backs, and we're going to cut them down to their 7.5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. The other thing, I was asking who all's done the mass makes. I've been wanting to do them for a while, which I keep saying. Like, if you've been watching these videos, you're going to hear me repeating myself. But the other thing is, they lend themselves once you figure out what you're making and you make one. Because I usually make one before I come on the video, which is why I have that one. They lend themselves to the assembly line style of working, which is what we're doing here. I'm going to cut all the backs. Get them all set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. And then we'll do all the pockets, and then we'll do all the gluing. These will go back in my, well, that won't. These will go back in my scraps. Here's the ones we did a few minutes ago. So we have, nope, that's not a back. We have this back. And did we say we were going to try and make a small back? I think we did, but I'm going to put this up here, and if I don't end up using it, I'll use it as a pocket. This was going to be a pocket. I'm not sure where I'm going to use it. So we have a pocket there. We've cut all of our backs to be 3 3/4. So we're going to cut our pockets to be 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Yes, that will work. And you get a birdie on the pocket. Okay. So we have that one. This is a longer pocket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. This one's 5.5. I'm going to set that off to the side, maybe up there. And then we're going to do this one. Which we will try to get also to 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So right here. That can go in this thing to go back in the scrap bin. These can also go back in the scrap bin. And this. I'm going to have to get a littler box for my little scraps so that I'm not always digging through the little scraps to find big scraps. And let's see how tall we've got this. Okay, 3 and almost 1/4, so that's good for height. This one I'll have more to work with. 1, 2, 3 1/2. So I've got more to work with down here at the bottom to fold over the bottom of the pocket. All right, let's do this. So we're going to do one, 2, 3, 4 1/2. Cutting all our pockets. Seeing what kind of interesting. We're going to cut this one to 1, 2, 3 1/2. Again, more fold over the bottom. Okay. Oh, you know what? We're going to do this upside down. This is the glue edge, and I don't feel like picking at it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. One, 2, 3 1/2. Now, the other thing I did was I scored my pockets last time. Oh, I wanted to make pockets out of this. So let's go. Let's go with one right here. That's going to go in the scraps. 1, 2, 3. 3 1/2. Right here. Okay. And then we'll cut it to 4 1/2 on either side, and then we'll do this one. This would be a good one, right? One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 1/2. I don't want them to be too big. Okay. I know you guys are like, oh, good, we get to sit here and watch you cut. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. Does anybody else get in for the assembly line thing? Like when you're doing things, maybe if you're not on camera, do you look at it and go, oh, well, if I'll do all of this first, and then I'll do all of this, and so on and so forth down the line? 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I have a tendency to do that, and it makes it easier on me because then I can put my cutter off to the side and I can just work on whatever it is I need to do for this. Okay, speaking of, I'm going to take these, put them down here with the scraps to go back in my scrap box. These are also going to go back in the scrap box. Okay, and I will admit that I did use, I think I just said I used my scoreboard. The little thing wanted to get away from me. Okay, and I'm going to do it this way up because I found that it folds straighter if you score the side that you... So like I'm scoring this side, but I'm going to fold under. Right? Make sense? I found that that seems to work better in the folding process. Of course, it would help if you could stay on the same... was jumping ship on me. Okay. And then for this, I'm doing a half because I think I made this 4.5, right? Or 3.5. Yeah. So we're doing a half across the bottom. Okay. And then basically, I'm going to show you what I do on this one, and then we'll do all the scoring, and then we'll do all the folding, and then we'll, you know, like that. So we cut the things out, we fold the things over, and then we have our points to glue around. These are going to go on these pockets. How did I do that? How did I do that? What? 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Oh, they should be 4.25, guys. I gave myself an extra. Okay, wait. So I think I can get. No, I can't. I can get an extra 1/8 of an inch on either side. Okay, so we're folding these to 3/8. I have to remember that on the next ones. You guys will have to help me remember we're doing the 3/8 mark, which luckily my scoreboard has 8s. Who knew? Some of you probably knew. Okay, and then basically what we're going to put this one fully together, and then we'll go through and do the pieces for everything else. Okay, so I'm basically just going to lay this in here. And we're going to fold and fold. It kind of, I score them exact, so they kind of buckle the pocket a little bit. Now, I suppose the answer to that would be to fold your pieces around your cardstock rather than scoring and folding that way. So like I can make a refold there so that it doesn't buckle it. But the buckle, I will say the buckle causes it to do a little bit of a, like it sits out a little bit. So the opening makes it easier to get things in and out of. So like something slides in, well, not that because it's the exact same, but something slides in and out of there really easy. And it can be a little bit chunky. So I don't know that I mind the buckling because it's not a lot. Okay. All right. So that's that one. Really cute, right? And like I said, even with the corner trimming, sometimes you get a little bit of something extra down here, which I usually just trim off. But like I said, I'm not sure about the height, but at this height, if I keep it like this, because I'm not going to do any more decorating to it, if I keep it at this height, when I go to stick it in a book, if I want it shorter, I know I'm not going to want it taller. If I want it shorter, I can just cut a piece off, right? So, and then usually I will round this, and even if I round this, again, if I cut it off, I just have to round it again. So that's one. Now let's go through and score all of our pockets. So we're basically going to score, now that I know, I'm going to score at 3/8. And I'm going to score, oh wow. Well, that's going to get folded around the back, so I don't care. Wait, 1, 2, 3/8. Although it's not giving me a lot to... It actually doesn't look like I did it right. 3/8. It's this line. There's a... All right, now let's try it. Okay, and then the bottom should be a half. All right, now see if we can do this without any more crazy. Okay, 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. And 1/2. Because of the way I've cut this, the 1/2 mark for the bottom is just the 3-inch mark. So it's kind of sort of simple. And so we're getting ready for the holidays and everything. But we are... I haven't started Christmas shopping. Anybody? I keep asking, but... Okay. I haven't, and I'll probably save it for the last minute. I've gotten to the point where I struggle sometimes to do the Christmas present thing. There are people who say, like, everybody's got their own opinion. Gift cards are impersonal. I'm like, well, I mean, if you don't know what to get the person, sometimes a gift card is the right, just because then they can get themselves something they want and they don't have to go through the hassle of doing returns and, you know, all that. Uh-oh, how far? Okay. Well, this one's only going to get a 1/4 inch on the bottom. Okay, and then this one. And it's hard. It's going over the glitter that's hard. It's funny. All right, and then this one, I don't think we cut it to the 4.5, did we? No. So we need to do that. Although I also don't know what I'm going to put this on, so... We might make a back out of that neutral paper to put that on. Okay. Lots of chitter chattering going on over my head. Oh. Oh, this is going to be a short pocket. Wherever I do it, it's going to be a 2 3/4 inch pocket. Okay. I think that'll be it for the scoring. So we'll put that back. And we will start the gluing process. So let's pull all these over. We'll get this one out from behind. And we'll start with the folding. Maybe we should do all the folding and cutting. I keep going quiet on you guys, I know. I am not real sure. I was saying I wasn't real sure what I was going to be getting people for Christmas. And the thing about gift cards, I actually don't mind getting gift cards. And sometimes that's what I end up giving people because I don't know what else to get them, and I would like for them to have something that they want. Of course, the problem with gift cards is you're telling somebody exactly how much money you're spending on them. I mean, it was always, the tradition was always to take the price tags off your gifts, so I don't know, people didn't know. But, I mean, like I said, if somebody gave me a pile of, I don't know, Amazon gift cards or I'm standing here and I was just looking down, and out of the corner of my eye or my peripheral vision, the front of my shirt, I was trying to figure out what the heck's all over it. And I just looked down at it to see, and I am covered in dog hair from hugging my dog. That's what happens when you have light colored clothes on and you have a dark colored dog. She's the funniest thing. We love her to death. She's 7 years old and blind as a bat. And I kind of say that literally only because she still loves to play fetch. She's been obsessed with playing fetch since she was a puppy. But she still loves playing fetch. And we have made it so that all of her toys that she plays fetch with make noise, or at the very least, especially if they have to go outside, they need some sort of hole in them to whistle, so they whistle when they go through the air. And as long as it's moving, we think she can see a little bit of movement. So as long as it's still moving, she can usually find it. But she loves playing fetch. She has loved playing with balls since she was a puppy. It was the funniest thing. When she was a puppy, we got her first ball, and she just couldn't get enough. It was like the last toy we ever had to buy her. So we just buy balls. And we had like one of those, I don't know if you're dog owners, maybe you know, one of those sling things where you put the ball goes in the scoop and you sling it and it throws it really far. Until she went blind, and then we were like, well, this isn't going to work. So we had to get rid of that, but she still loves to play fetch. I mean, it's like an obsession. She even will fall asleep with a ball in her mouth. Laying, like when she's come in the house and she has an outdoor ball and she has an indoor ball. And if she comes in the house, she will find one of her, now she has some other indoor squeaky toys. So it's not just balls when she's inside. But she will come inside and she will find one of her balls, and then she'll either want you to play more fetch with her inside, or she will go and lay down with the ball in her mouth. Man, that one popped up. And I just think it's so funny. She's like but she's 7 and shows no signs of slowing down. She's been blind for 5 years. She lost her sight when she was 2. And she's spoiled rotten. For the longest time, we got a new set of furniture. When she finally got used to the fact that there was new furniture in the living room, for the longest time, she wouldn't get up on either of the sofas or the recliner. She still won't get up on the recliner. We've had the furniture for 3 or 4 years now. She still won't get up on the recliner. But she doesn't mind the sofas. And the love seat, so it was a sofa and love seat set. And the love seat, she kind of, in the evenings, she will claim it as her own. She even rearranges the throw pillows until they're, like, to her liking. She paws at them and knocks them down and gets them. And if you're sitting where she wants to be, she'll come and sit in front of you and just stare at you. Like, hey, you're in my spot. It's hysterical. I mean, it's hysterical. So, yeah. She thinks she owns the love seat. And if you're sitting on a throw pillow and she wants it because she wants to, these ones I cut. I don't know what's going on here. If you're sitting on one of the throw pillows and she wants it, she'll come over and she'll stare at you. She'll paw at it behind you if it's behind you. She'll stare at you. She's like, she's also picked up a new habit where she goes in the, okay, so my husband started this habit one summer, where she would come in, from playing outside in the heat, playing fetch, running full out, chasing her ball. And she would come in and he would want her to drink water, obviously. And to cool her down, because, dogs don't sweat, he would get her, how the refrigerators nowadays, ours produces ice and cold water. So he would fill her bowl with ice cubes and cold water from the refrigerator spout. Well, now that got to be such a thing that if she goes in the kitchen and she decides that her water is the wrong temperature or it's been sitting too long, she will sit by her bowl, even if it is half full. And she'll sit there, and if nobody comes and fills it, because we're all sitting in the living room, we don't know she's sitting there, she'll bark. And if you go in there, she is sitting by a half full water bowl, waiting for you to refill it. You need to refill it with ice and cold water, or she won't drink it. It's hysterical. She is... Yeah. So that's my dog. All right. Well, we're getting into down to the end of these. So you've been watching me while I've been chattering on about my dog. We're just gluing these around to the back. Now, of course, the benefit of gluing, making your pocket wider than your, whatchamacallit, is that you don't lose real estate in the pocket, right? Ooh, that's going to be a big buckle. I probably should have trimmed that one too. I've been taking a hair off of them. I don't want too much. I don't mind the buckle. I don't want too much buckle. This one might be a little too much. Oh, did I lose all the puffballs? I think I just folded all the puffballs around the back of the pocket. Oh no, there's some down there. Yeah, there's a decent. The other thing you can do, of course, is snip it. So you can put a little... All right, I'm going to trim a hair off of the edge. I'm getting too much buckling. So apparently my pockets are interfering with their folds. I wanted to do one of these blue ones on a bird. I got the same bird, so it doesn't really matter. So I thought I would do like this. Oh, I'm oozing. I keep asking about Christmas to see if anybody has started their Christmas shopping, but I'm filming this. It's not even Halloween yet when I'm filming this. I know you probably won't see it until closer to the holidays, but when I'm filming this, it's not even Halloween yet. So right. Put this one. I haven't even looked at the time. I have no idea where we are time-wise. There's one other thing I wanted to do, and I'm hoping we get time, but if we don't, I mean... See? Cute, right? And then I was also going to do one of these. These came from the same paper pad. So I thought this might be kind of fun. Now, this is a busy one, but in the same token, I'm very okay with busy. That doesn't bother me in the least. Of course, the other thing you can do is you could, do some stitching on here for decoration, or of course, you know me, guys. If I put stitching on these pockets, they got to be backed, or being glued down, or something. I don't know if you can hear that thumping. That's my dog playing with her ball. Well, that's somebody playing with my dog and her ball. It's a constant, nonstop thing. She always wants to play ball. It could be 3 a.m. She will want to play ball. It's insane. That's a really little fold over. Well, my first pocket that I made to do the experimenting was really little. See, now that's really busy, but I really like that. I think that's really pretty. So, I'll use that somewhere. Okay, so what I was going to do was I was going to take this. I think this would look really pretty on here. This has got kind of a, it's got a texture to it. So let's first start by seeing how much. Half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, half. So I have 8 inches. All right, we are going to, this doesn't look straight. So I'm going to cut here. Like that. Shoot. It's probably still not straight. It's not. It did that bubble thing at the end. That's okay. This end is straight. So, having said that, she's barking. I want to go up there and smack somebody. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do this one just shy of 3/4. Oops, just shy of 3/4. To see if it'll help with the folding. I don't want to do it too much, because if you do it too much, you get the pocket overhangs on the side where you fold it. Okay, so there's a scrap for my scrap box. This is the straight end, so we'll take our 7.5 inches starting at this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. I know, I just said that there was something else I wanted to show you, but I want to make this last pocket, because I made the pocket and I just forgot to make because I forgot what I was using this for. I knew I got it out for a reason, and I couldn't remember what it was. This is what it was. Okay, so I think this will look pretty on here. I don't know if you can see it. It's got kind of a canvas or some sort of fabric texture to it. So ooh. All right, so what I wanted to show you was let me find a piece of, I have some double-sided paper off to one side over here. I'm going to find a piece and we're going to do a version of this with a piece of double-sided paper, which I think it's going to be kind of like, if you go back in my idea book, the pockets, I made a CD pocket. It's going to be kind of like that, where you cut your bottom wider than your top. So let me check real quick. Hold on. Okay. So we got a couple. I don't know if they're all right. So basically what I would do is I would mark right here on my pocket. I'm going to want to cut in 1/4 inch, right? So I'm going to start 1, 2, 3. That's the piece I'm going to fold up. So we're going to start right here. We're going to go 1/4 inch in. Is this still 12 inches long? Yes, it is. So I need my other ruler. And I need my knife because I can stop and start. I can stop and start where I want. So whenever I need to stop and start at a specific spot, I always use my knife. Okay, and I want to stop. I want my pocket to be 3 inches tall. So since that's where I want to fold, that's where I want to stop my cut. So I'm going to cut the back. This is what will be my tall back. And I'm going to cut this off all the way down to here. Okay. And then we're going to cut out, and I'm just going to go at an angle. I'm going to cut down, and we're going to take this strip out. Okay. So now I've got this little cut, right? Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I'm going to have to do it from the other end. So I'm going to line this up. I'm going to line my ruler up 3/4 in. And I'm going to start at this time I'm going to start at the 3 inch mark, just because it'll make it easier. And I'm going to cut this down all the way to the bottom. And then I'm going to go to the 3 inch mark and I'm going to cut a little angle piece and take that out. Okay. So there we have that. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go right there where you cut it and you're going to fold, right? So that will fold up on your pocket like that. And then you will fold these around and glue them. So when you have double-sided paper, if you like the way the sides go together, you can do this. And of course, you can cut more out of your whatever. You can cut more out of your, to make your fold over wider. It doesn't have to be 1/4 inch. Okay. So we get that, and then on this side we do same. And then because I haven't, this was just a 12 inch piece of paper that I took and folded 3 inches up on. So it's basically 9 inches tall now, right? So if you want to, so if you want to cut it down to the 7.5, you can, or you can keep it the way it is and cut it down when you're ready to use it. But there's one with double-sided paper, same thing, just a little bit different. Let's see if we can make, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. The trials and tribulations of paper crafting. I don't need my big ruler. So we'll go like this. This was used in the popcorn book. It'll look familiar. If you saw the popcorn book, this will look familiar to you when I turn it over. Voila. Okay, and what I think I'm going to do is, this is going to be a short one. And it's going to be also a short pocket, because I don't want to Okay, let's see how much space I've got. So we're looking at one that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 inches tall. So I'm going to go 2.5 inches on the pocket. Basically, that means instead of trying to cut to dots, I'm going to cut to marks. So that will be 2 there. And I'm going to go 1/4 inch in on either side. However narrow that makes my pocket, I didn't look. And we're going to cut down to the 2 inch mark because I dropped 1/2 inch over here. So we're going to cut down to the 2 inch mark. I'm losing it in my... right there. And then nope, I cut it too far down. It's going to be a really short pocket. I cut it too far down. It's 1.5 inches. Well, I was losing track of it behind my arm. I should have flipped it over and done it this way. It's easier to do it this way. 1/2, 1. It's easier to do it starting at your mark and coming down than it is. I don't even think I bothered to look and see if that was straight or not. Man, I'm making a muck up of this one. I didn't. That's not straight. Okay, but we're going to fold in our corner. Just like that. I'm going to take a little bit more off because they're higher than the fold. Okay, and it's going to be a little pocket. So I probably cut that shorter. But, you know, you can stick some little tickets or something in there. Anyway, so that would be a version of this with double-sided. So I hope you guys have liked the, you know, day 5 of the mass makes. For Tina, this would be week 5. And of course, she goes to 100 and starts over. So, as always, I will link Tina's playlist. I'm not linking individual videos, but I will link the playlist and you can go check out the whole list. And there we go. That one's a little short. A little pocket. But you can still stick something in there, so not for nothing. And I'll see you tomorrow with another mass make. Bye-bye, guys.